Hi, I'm Wes Allen with DM Tales, and today I'm going to do a viewer request video. This is how I'm exporting my maps out from Dungeon Alchemist and importing them as VTT files into both Foundry and Arkenforge. Let's roll it. Okay, so first what I want to do is show us how we are going to export our map as a VTT. You can see this is actually 3D, which is kind of fun, but for my VTT, I want to have just a top-down export. So what we're going to do is go to File and to Export, and you can change what you're doing from here. So I can go orthographic top-down. You can go to perspective with 3D walls, so it's going to give you much more of that depth, although it's going to change the way the grid is going to look a little weird. And you can do limited perspective, and it just gives you some 3D walls. I'm just going to do the top down, so it's just as direct one-to-one export as possible. There are different ways you can export. So you can do a Foundry export, which I'll do as one of my demos. You can also do a universal VTT export, which is how I'm going to bring it into Arkenforge. Or here are some other cool VTTs that you can export to, or an image only if you want. And the cool thing is a video export. So if you want to have like a moving background, you can export that and bring it into your VTT that way. It all works really well. First, let's start with the universal VTT export. And I want to show you the settings here. I'm going to turn the grid off, so it's not showing up in my VTT. I can see here you can change the quality. There are three. Very high quality is 300 dpi. That would basically be 300 pixels per square because the squares are set up for a 1-inch grid. 72 is low quality, which is probably what you want if you're running a less powerful system. I'm going to keep it at high quality for 150 dpi. That is a good trade-off between high quality and speed. And I'm just going to export out. We will go to my desktop and create a new folder. And I'll name it River Cave VTT. And it's going to give that universal VTT background or extension. There it exports. Export is complete. And I want to do one more as well. So we're going to go to File, Export. I want to show you the differences between importing into Foundry and importing into just a universal VTT import. So we're going to do a Foundry export. You can change the image type that you want to. I'm going to keep it as a JPEG. Would like to see a WebM export for that, but that's what I got right now. Keeping all of my settings basically the same, we're going to export that out. And we're going to go River Cave and say it's Foundry. And let's save that. Okay, so that is done. Now I want to show you what this looks like. So when you export out, it's going to do a couple of things. So first off, this DD2 VTT, that's the universal virtual tabletop export file that you can pretty much import into anything. But for the Foundry export, it does it a little bit differently. You can see there's a JSON file there. And when you get into Foundry, you're going to import that, and that's going to set all your settings like walls and the map size and the pixels per inch and all that stuff. And then the River Cave JPEG is the actual map image, and you have to go in and load that later. I will show you what that looks like in just a bit. But first, let's take a look at Arkenforge. Okay, so here is Arkenforge all booted up and ready to go. And I want to import that universal VTT file that I exported out of Dungeon Alchemist. The way that you do that is pretty easy. There is an import button up here at the top. You click on it. I don't know why the pop-up menu is coming up where it is. It might be a little bit of a glitch there, but I'm going to click on that. Let's go here, click on that, and see it pops up down here in the corner for some reason. But you have import map tile, import PNG sequence, import token, and import universal VTT. We're going to click on that. There we go. And it's going to bring up the browser. And we're going to go to my desktop where I had it. And the exports. And there it is. It's highlighted. It's not grayed out. DD2VTT. It's a universal tabletop file. And we'll just open that up. There it goes. Takes a little bit. You can see it's got the walls that I had set up already there. Those are to block views, and I could actually extend those out a little bit because the universal VTT didn't quite put all the walls in. So you can do that over on map tools or map building and go to barriers, and I could draw a couple more barriers. There we go. And when the tokens got in, they would not be able to see past those barriers there. But that does a pretty good job of just importing it in, and there you go. 2D, just like I exported out. If I wanted to, it's a little easier in Foundry, but I could put barriers around. That's one thing I don't like about Arkenforge is it puts kind of a faux tabletop at the border here. In Foundry, I just block those off, and I could do the same thing with barriers in this. But it works very well. I'm kind of impressed. So let's take a look at how you do this similar thing in Foundry. Okay, so here I am in Foundry. I just have a random map that is loaded right now. This is the town, the elvish town that the players are currently located. And I have my scenes over here on the right, and I have my caves folder that is loaded up. I don't have any scenes that are in caves right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new map. So we'll just click that once. And it doesn't matter what you're going to name it. Watch this. I'm just going to name it. And there it is. There's close this out. And this is why you don't need to worry about what you name it. I'm going to right click. I am going to import data. Choose a file here. We will go to my desktop and to my exports. And there is the River Cave Foundry JSON file. This has all the information for the scene in it already. The map size, the pixel grid size, where all the walls go. And you'll see that it just imports out. And it's when I activate it, it will not have the background image. So there is that. We're going to import. And see, it was successfully imported. The nice thing about JSON files is that they are plain text. They load really, really fast. And I'm just going to view this scene. And you can see there's nothing there. But if I go to the walls over here, there are the two walls. Those same barriers that were in the Arkenforge export, they're there as well. So to get the background, we're going to go here and we're going to configure. And now I am going to change the background image. Let's import that out here. Oh, sorry. Let's import that here. And I'm in my maps folder here. You can put that basically anywhere you want in your Foundry file structure. Let's choose the file for Foundry River Cave Foundry JPEG. We'll open that out. It is uploading it. There we go. So now it's River Cave Foundry is the set. I do have a background image. Let's save the changes. Come on. And now it's got a background. So coming up on the channel, I am well through my read through of Index Card RPG. I am hoping to get done this book by the end of the week so I can write my review of it on Saturday and hopefully have the review recorded and edited by Tuesday. That's going to be a tall order. I hope I can actually get it done and still do things like spend time with my family and work. And then there's a bit of a confession. I have a huge backlog in the games that I want to review. And so I recently have told myself that until I get through a good number of these games that are just sitting on my shelf collecting dust, like Forbidden Lands and Coriolis Third Horizon and Mutant Crawl Classics and Dungeon Crawl Classics, I wasn't going to pick up any new games. I had my finger ready to pick up 13th Age a couple days ago. I'm like, no, I need to get this done. But there's a new friendly local gaming store at Moorestown Mall near here, and it's called the Guild Hall, by the way. And they were friendly today, which is not always true for friendly local gaming stores, unfortunately. But they were chatting with me and helped me out. And, well, they had this on the shelf, and I've been interested in this. It's kind of a sci-fi version of Blades in the Dark, and same system, really. And, well, I bought that. Now, you can see it's actually in shrink wrap. And so until I get Index Card RPG reviewed and I finish reading Numenera Destiny, I am not allowed to rip this out of its wrapper. So when I get that done, maybe I'll do a short and I'll show you, hey, look, I'm done. I can now open this up. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. And that's what we got going on. Until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.